Welcome back, dear children. How are you? Hope you all are fine. Students, do you remember our previous English class? What did we learn in that class? Yes, we began a new lesson which was a poem. What's the title of the poem? Yes, very good. The Village Blacksmith is the title of the poem. Who's the author? Yes, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow is the author of the poem The Village Blacksmith. I recited the poem for you, and I told you to recite the poem yourself. Hope you all recited this poem. Now, shall we discuss the poem? Okay, let's go. All of you take your English text and take page number 110. Now, I'll recite this poem once again and we will discuss the difficult words and their meanings. Under a spreading chestnut tree, the village smithy stands. The smith, a mighty man is he, with large and sinewy hands, and the muscles of his brawny arms are strong as iron bands. His hair is crisp and black and long, his face is like the tan, his brow is wet with honest sweat, he earns whatever he can, and looks the whole world in the face, for he owes not any man. Week in, week out, from morn till night, you can hear his bellows blow. You can hear him swing his heavy sledge with measured beat and slow, like a sexton ringing the village bell when the evening sun is low. And children coming home from school, looking at the open door, they love to see the flaming forge and hear the bellows roar and catch the burning sparks that fly like chaff from a threshing floor. He goes on Sunday to the church and sits among his boys. He hears the parson pray and preach. He hears his daughter's voice singing in the village choir, and it makes his heart rejoice. It sounds to him like her mother's voice singing in paradise. He needs must think of her once more, how in the grave she lies, and with his hard, rough hand he wipes a tear out of his eyes. Toiling, rejoicing, sorrowing, onward through life he goes. Each morning sees some task begin. Each evening sees it close. Something attempted, something done, has earned a night's repose. Thanks, thanks to thee, my worthy friend, for the lesson thou hast told. Thus at the flaming forge of life, our fortunes must be wrought. Thus on its sounding anvil shaped, each burning deed and thought. Students, hope you all identified the difficult words. Am I right? So, shall we discuss those words and their meanings? Chestnut tree, a tree producing hard brown edible fruit. Here you can see the picture of the chestnut tree. Smithy means blacksmith's workshop. This is the picture of smithy. Sinewy, having strong sinews or muscles. Brawny, having physical strength. Crisp, become brown. Tan means exposure to the heat or sun. Sledge, a large hammer used for breaking stones. This is the picture of sledge. Sexton, one who takes care of a church. Forge, furnace for tempering metal. This is the picture of forge. Chaff, outer covering of corn. Parson means priest. Preach, To give a speech. Toiling means hardworking. Repose, rest. Wrote, manufactured. Anvil means iron block in which red hot metal is fashioned. Students, here you can see the picture of anvil. Hope you all understood the new words and their meanings. Students, now I'll explain the meanings of each stanzas in this poem for you. So all of you look at your text and listen carefully. All of you look at the first stanza. In the first stanza, the poet talks about a person, the blacksmith, who is strong and he is standing under the chestnut tree. His hands are stronger than usual, and the poet uses a simile to compare his hands to iron bands in the last line. Here the simile is brawny arms are strong as iron bands. Here the poet compares brawny arms as iron bands. Now look the second stanza. In the second stanza, Longfellow gives us a further description of the person, that is the blacksmith. He tells us that the blacksmith has long black and brown colored hairs. The next thing is his face, which is tan or brownish. After the first two lines, the next four lines are very important with respect to the meanings. The blacksmith's brow is wet with honest sweat, and he earns only what he can. The poet is hinting at the honesty and satisfaction of the blacksmith. He does not borrow from anyone because he earns as per his capacity and does not demand more. He is not greedy, and a person who does not owe to anyone can live a life happy and live. The expression looks the whole world in the face means to tell the readers that a person who is honest, not greedy, and does not borrow unnecessarily can be equal with everyone in the terms of treatment. He won't need to flatter someone. In this stanza, the simile is his face is like the tan. Now look the third stanza. These lines are all praise for the blacksmith's labor that he does from the morning to the evening until the sun sets. The sounds of his sledge sound like the village bell. A person can always hear his bellows or the setup to heat the iron to be able to forge it, and this goes on every day. Students, can you identify the simile from this stanza? Yes, you can hear him swing his heavy sledge with measured beat and slow like a sexton ringing the village bell. Here, the sound of the sledge is compared to the village bell. Now all of you look the fourth stanza. In this stanza, the poet tells us about the school children who love to see the blacksmith's work through the door which remains open. Children love to see the bellows which produce sounds like roaring. Children also love to see the sparks which keep flying and produce a scene like the flying husk during the threshing procedure. Students, here is also a simile. Can you identify that? Yes, very good. Catch the burning sparks that fly like chaff from a threshing floor. Here, the sparks are compared to the chaff. Now look the fifth stanza. Here, the poet is relaxed and he is telling us about the soft side in the heart of this strong blacksmith who goes on attend the church every Sunday with his family. The blacksmith hears carefully the preacher's message. He listens to the prayer with joy and also loves to listen to his daughter's voice who plays in the village choir. And all this Sunday episode, the poet says, makes the blacksmith happy and satisfied. Now look the sixth stanza. The poet continues the stanza from where he left off in the last one. Longfellow tells us that the blacksmith feels that the voice of his daughter is just like her mother, his wife who has died, as if she is singing in heaven. The blacksmith thinks about his wife in the grave and tears flow out of his eyes. He wipes the tears with his hard and rough hands. In these lines, the poet seems to suggest that the outlook of the blacksmith is hardened, but he owns a soft heart which has emotions. Now, all of you look the seventh stanza. This stanza and the last one after it are very important. As I told earlier, Longfellow is a person who is a poet as well as a preacher who always tends to tell us the right path to go ahead. The blacksmith becomes his vehicle in this poem to tell us what should be the structure of a happy and satisfied life. The blacksmith spends his life working hard, being happy and being sad at times. He keeps moving ahead in his life as each morning he starts something new and ends it with the evening. Every day he works and every night he rests fully. The hard work he does in the morning gives him the sleep of calm in the night. To the poet, the blacksmith is an ideal person. Now all of you look the last stanza. This is the last stanza of the poem, which by all means is the most important one. The poet thanks the blacksmith for the lesson that he has taught to the poet. The poet tells that we should also learn the lesson of hard work from the village blacksmith and never shy away from determination and labor, which will eventually build our fortunes. This world is just like the anvil on which we have to shape our deeds and thoughts to make ourselves a better person day by day. Students, hope you all understood and enjoyed this poem. Am I right? Now all of you recite this poem once again and try to answer the questions given in the text. I'll give you notes in the next class. Thank you, dear children.